Hi guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Knowledge Finder. Today we've got a special guest, RAGZ-CV, a poet and the founder of Poetic Unity. He also runs an event called Poets Corner, which you can check out online. Just give it a quick Google. But hi Ryan, welcome. Thank you for coming down today.
Thanks for having me, man.
Today we'd like to get into a bit about Poetic Unity, how you started, your whole journey, because as we were discussing off air, when I was younger, I found there wasn't many outlets for poets until people like George the Poet came around. So if you just give the audience a bit of your backstory and how you started.
Yeah, so basically I was born and raised in Brixton, and in that time when I was growing up, like I felt like as a young person I didn't have the opportunities that some other young people had, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Specifically like being from a Caribbean background, like and my friends being from African Caribbean backgrounds as well. Like we felt like we were marginalised, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't really give us the same opportunities as our white counterparts, you feel me?
Yeah.
So like that always kind of that kind of touched me from early, do you know what I'm saying? I realised that from a young age.
How? What was the main experience?
You know what it is? The main experience was like the way the school treated us. Like when people used to get in trouble, it would always be like, when you look around the room, it would always be black and brown people, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's never white people in the room. Like my school was like, I felt like the teachers weren't fair in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they picked on us, you know what I'm saying? So things like school, and also not just school, but like youth clubs, like, and all that kind of stuff. There wasn't many around at the time. Like there was a few, but like there wasn't many around to get these opportunities for us. You know what I'm trying to say? And not just that, like in terms of just opportunities to go and play, but opportunities to learn. Do you know what I'm saying? Learn about like taxes and money management and all that kind of stuff. So I just felt like we didn't have the opportunities because of the backgrounds we were coming from. Obviously, we were working class. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're working class, you obviously have less money and stuff. And a lot of my friends didn't have their dad around. I was lucky to have both my parents around, you know what I'm saying? So I think that played a part in me as well. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because my background really had a big impact on what I created in the future, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think Poetic Unity would exist if I didn't go through what I went through when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? If I didn't see the things I saw, experience the things I did. So when I created Poetic Unity, it's only after I created it, after a few years of creating it, that I realised that the main reason why I even created it was because of the impact I had as a young person, that I didn't get opportunities, and I wanted to give that to young people as I got older, innit, do you know what I'm saying? So with Poetic Unity, like, it started in 2015, and the main reason why I created it was literally to give young people a voice, give young people a platform to be themselves, give young people a chance to be part of a community that they feel safe in, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like it started as an idea, bro. Like it wasn't like, oh, this is my career now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's just an idea, and as an idea, as any idea, it's about seeing it grow and seeing it prosper. Do you know what I'm saying? So thankfully it did. The first like 6 months or so of me doing the project, like it just blew up. We got so many young people involved. I think the first year we worked with like 1,500 young people, and we started doing stuff in schools. And then from there, it just started growing, do you know what I'm saying? And then like I started seeing like, our unique selling point is that we use poetry to support young people's education and mental health and stuff. And like poetry is such a powerful tool to help people and to help with expression. So I didn't actually like it in school, but the way like it was taught in school is so different to how I learned it. I learned about it after school, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So like when we go to schools now and we teach poetry, we teach it in a way where it's actually like fun and engaging, not just Shakespeare, not to even cuss Shakespeare because he's done his thing, but it's not modern, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Young people want to relate to these, like the subject matter and whatnot, do you know what I'm saying? And the way we deliver it. So like when we go to do workshops in schools now, they can relate to poetry, and it's making poetry more exciting to young people, the next generation. We want the next generation of poets to come through, you feel me?
Yeah, so how did you get back into the schools then? At the time when you went, you said the school systems were unfair, so how did you end up like working in schools?
That's exactly why I went to schools, because of like I'll be honest, me saying unfair is even like, playing it down. My school, some of the teachers were racist. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just keeping it 100. So like, but not just that they were racist, but the education system, I didn't think it was it wasn't for us. Do you know what I'm trying to say? The way they taught they didn't teach like for people of our backgrounds. I'm trying to say from like even just not even just about cultural backgrounds, but even like the working class and stuff like that. They teach the way they taught was more for middle and upper class to a degree. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like when we go into schools, like young people are seeing people that look like them, and like we're teaching them things that we would have wanted to know when we were younger, to them that they're still not getting taught now.
Yeah.
When we go into schools, it's still the same, you know.
Yeah,
Same as when I was a youth. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's still the same issues. There's still racism in schools. There's still favoritism. There's still issues with the working class and upper class and whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? And public schools are getting less funding now. You know what I'm saying? That's why all these like Harris Academies and all that kind of stuff have come up.
Yeah.
Because the academies are like, they obviously got more money. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, the point is, the reason why I've gone into schools now is because I feel like we need to. Young people go in school regardless, and we can't get away from that. You have to go to school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You actually get fined now if you don't go to school. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, you didn't.
Yeah.
You get me? But you get fined now if you don't go to school. So, because of that reason, I feel like, you know, instead of like, you know, being anti-school, let me go into schools and show the schools how it should be done. I'm trying to say. And to be fair, some schools are open to it. Do you know what I'm saying? Some schools are like, you know what? We know you can bring something that we can't bring.
Yeah.
So then it makes sense. You see what I'm saying?
So what's your normal channel? You just approach a school, approach the head teacher, or is there...
It varies, you know. When we first started, I remember like a couple of my friends, they work in different schools.
Okay.
Like they're teachers, innit? And then they told their... they came to our events and stuff, and they told their head teacher or whatnot about Poetic Unity. Do you know what I'm saying? And then obviously then the head teacher contacted us because of the referral. So a lot of time it's referrals. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
Yeah, it's like a teacher works there, or even sometimes a parent might refer us because a young person's worked with us outside of the school, and they're like, look, bring Poetic Unity in to do some workshops or whatnot because they're doing their thing, and then they've helped my child. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how it works more time. Sometimes when we've got funding specifically to deliver workshops in school, sometimes we'll contact them ourselves and just say, look, you know, we're delivering this workshop, it's free for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we've got funding, so can we come in and, you know, support your young people? And then they're very receptive to getting stuff for free, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? So,
definitely.
yeah, so it depends, innit, how we do it, basically.
Oh, that's great. It's a great initiative, and the events look amazing as well. So a bit about yourself and your own poetry then. I listened to a piece called Digital Slaves, I think is the one that I liked. I think the concept was really good, like the stuff you was talking about, it really hits home and is very relevant, like you're saying, to how people live today. And one thing I did want to ask you, based on the content of the Digital Slaves track, what do you feel, how do you feel about today's society in terms of like living for likes, especially within the black community? Like, what do you think about that, and where that's leading us?
Yeah, man, Digital Slaves is mad because I wrote that so long ago. Like, I wrote that, like, I released it, I think it was 7 years ago now. But I wrote it 8 years ago. And it's still relevant now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If anything, it's more relevant now than it was even then, because it's kind of the start of the technology era then times there. But, you know what, like, I feel like social media and like just technology in general is having a big impact on mental health in it. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are seeing like, you know, influencers and all this stuff on their pages and like trying to look exactly like them or trying to live up to their standards when the influencer herself is not living up to that standard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get me? So like with social media, yeah, it's perception is reality. That's literally what it is. Because a lot of it isn't reality. You feel me? A lot of it is just like you're getting the best moment of each person. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it is an issue, and it's specifically in the black community. Like I feel like, you know, like with Black Twitter, like it can get crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? It gets a bit mad. But like I think like sometimes with social media and stuff and like how it affects the black community, I think sometimes a lot of things can get perpetuated to an even worse level. So things like colorism, that's obviously still a big issue. Like, you know, when something goes on like on social media, it just goes to the world. You know what I'm saying? And then, whereas when social media wasn't there, this might have been an issue between two people.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now it's going to the world now, it's even causing more issues. And a lot of people, like some people, getting to the point where they feel suicidal and depressed and have anxiety and stuff. So I think it's one of those things where it's going to be here, it's not going to go anywhere, but it's about managing it, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? And then knowing yourself, do you know what I'm saying? Because you've got to know what you can handle, what you can't. I think it's really individual. It's a really individual thing, social media. You should like think about yourself, like what can you handle? And if, you know what, if you go on someone's page and they make you feel away, don't follow that person. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like some people go on people's pages just to see them shining. If that's affecting you, don't go on it. Do you know what I'm saying?
So true.
You get what I'm saying? Like people just do it to themselves. Even if you need to block that person, just to not see it, because you might, get let me just check their page. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you have to block their person, it's your mental health at the end of the day. You get me? Your mental health, only you can control it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying that other things outside of that don't come into play. They do, but specifically with social media, I feel like we have control to a degree.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? What we see and what we don't see. Do you know what I'm saying? So follow people that inspire you. Follow people that, make you want to do better for yourself. That's what I do personally. I look out for people to be inspired. I'm trying to say, like, and also my friends and stuff, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think if you look at somebody's page, shining or whatever, doing well in whatever field they may be, and you feel like any type of way, like any type of hate or anything like that, I think you should just delete the app. That's my opinion, because like, you should focus on self. If you feel like that way and social media is affecting your mental health, like to win, you have to focus on self. There's no shortcut. And I've discussed this with a couple of guests I've had on, Ice Jules, Levi, and there's a similar trend. When you see social media influencers, not all, but most, and especially a lot of the younger ones that might be living in your local area, believe they're not really living like that. And they're doing the most. Like I remember when I was younger, and there was females that were popular on social media. If you ever see their conditions they're living in, it's nothing like the social media. So it doesn't matter if they're in Hakkasan every weekend or whatever. Don't think that's how they're actually living. And I always think as well, aim for a lifestyle. If you're feeling down because you see somebody's got a new watch or got a new car, don't even look at the possessions, look at the lifestyle. How are they achieving those stuff and maintaining that lifestyle, and then elevate your whole life. Don't aim for the materialisms that are shown on the Insta.
No, I agree, bro.
And what I was going to ask you next is about your charitable work. So you've raised a lot of money for various foundations through your poems. So how does that actually work? How does it convert from making a great poem, releasing it, to raising money for charities? Are people buying the music, or are they donating to you for the cause?
Yeah, so like I used to do that a lot before I started Poetic Unity. It was in 2012 I started like raising money for Alzheimer's Society charity, specifically because my grandma, before she passed, had Alzheimer's, and I saw how bad it was, you know what I'm saying, and how bad dementia and Alzheimer's, both affect people. So I wanted to make a difference in terms of helping young people understand what Alzheimer's is. A lot of time we see older people, and we just think, right, they're old. But it's not that. They've actually got dementia, you know what I'm saying? Or they've got Alzheimer's, and it's important that we understand what they got, because when we can see what they have and what they're going through, we're going to be more mindful of how we treat them and how, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So anyway, like, I released a project with my granddad, actually, back in the day. Them times there, 2012, my granddad... he used to produce music before he passed as well, and my granddad's my Jamaican side, and he used to do reggae, jazz, and all that kind of stuff. He was a sick artist. Like he could sing, he could like play music, organ, all that kind of thing. So he literally produced the whole album, or EP I should say. It's like 5 tracks, and then we decided to like raise money for Alzheimer's Society, because obviously my grandma, obviously his wife is the one who had dementia. So we raised like over 10 grand through that project. And what we did was, at the time, is we would like I would go and perform. He couldn't perform because he was old now, you know what I'm saying? He was like 73, 74, and he had arthritis and all this thing. But like I would go and perform it and obviously sell some copies at different events. We used to sell it on, it was on iTunes. I think it probably still is on iTunes now. You probably still get, it's called Paying Homage to the King. Because even though it's about my grandma, I was paying homage to my granddad because I was using his music to do my thing on. and also we did like special appearances in schools and colleges. Like I used to go to schools and do like motivational speeches to young people, and also talk about the album and like talk about the journey of it. So I did that a lot between 2012 and 2016, and then when I started Poetic Unity, obviously, which is a registered charity itself, that kind of like took over. You know what I'm saying? And then that's my charitable cause. That's my foundation. You know what I'm saying? To give back to the youth and give back to the next generation. So, but it did start. I always big up my grandma and my granddad, because without that situation happening, Poetic Unity probably wouldn't exist right now.
Oh, that's amazing. It's amazing to see what the journey people take to get to where they are. And a lot of the time, it just goes back to the passion. Like, however they stumble across the passion, who knows? But there's some reason that sparks some passion, and then they go down that channel.
Them times there, fam. When I first started doing that charity work of Alzheimer's, I was like 23, and just before then, I was out for myself, bro. I wasn't thinking about no community. I wasn't no charity work. I was just playing football, linking gal. That was what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, any typical young person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I saw what my nan went through with dementia, like, and how she was suffering, it changed me. I was like a switch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I started thinking about other people, not just myself.
I'm with you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't always into the community thing. Like, I wasn't born like this. You see what I'm saying? It took. Well, obviously, I had the morals and the values and stuff from my family. Do you know what I'm saying? Big up my mum and dad. But, like, when you're young, you're not thinking about that. You're taught to think about yourself, innit? You know what I'm saying? It's not normal. Even, like, you see, when I started doing the work I was doing, like, people were like, oh, yeah, Rags, you're such a great person. I'm like, this is normal.
Yeah.
When I started getting into it properly, I was like, this is what should be normal. Why is this such a big thing? Even though it is, but it should be normal. Imagine all of us are doing this.
Well, see, what I would like to just touch upon there is I always like give people this question: what would you be doing if you had all the money you ever needed? What would you actually do? Because you wouldn't chase more money. So how would you spend your time there? And a lot of people, they can't actually answer it like that. No. They have to think about it like, oh, I would. Like, you could link gal forever, every single day, but you're gonna get bored of that.
Of course.
So what would you do? They're like, oh, I'll travel, and then what? It's like but if I've asked certain people and they actually know, because they're at that stage, they're in that stage, they don't think money's not what they wake up to think about. I think that alone, coming from our community, and like you say, working class background, it is a big thing that we are always trying to get on. Like, in the beginning, most of the time we ain't got backing from family, so we're trying to do the groundworks, level one, get a house, get out of the rat race. Like, we're trying to just do these
freedom,
these little freedom things. But if you already start at a level where, you know, all right, my family's gonna give me a house, and I'm kind of gonna be okay. My uncle's got a job for me there. That's kind of good. Then you start to think bigger, and your mind starts to become more open from the beginning. And I think that's. It's part of the reason why we did Knowledge Finder, so people can see people like yourselves and all of our other guests from a younger age. And at any age you can be inspired. But when they say, oh, role models when you were younger, like a lot of people didn't have their dad around, blah, blah. Like, we do need to see certain people within our community to open our mind to that. Otherwise, it's just we're out for self and we don't really know how to navigate to a higher level without just trial and error. So it's a lot of out for self and it's a lot of trial and error. And it also this leads on to what I was going to ask you, because I think you're a couple years older than me, but to me, this is what affected our generation, and I would say in a partial way anyway. So the music that was in our culture at the time, and also, I don't know if you remember when GTA was released with San Andreas, with the flags. To me, like, when I got older, I started to look back at like what was popping at that time and the trends. And I remember, and you're from down here as well, but I remember there was two things in that time period in school. Gigs was going hard, and he was like the first one, that whole era. Gigs. What's the other one he done that mixtape with? Dubs.
Dubs. Dubs.
That was the era where they crossed over to East, so that's like in East we're hearing those guys now. Before it was more like Gets and those guys, guys, and they weren't as they were hard, but it weren't as gutter gangster.
Yeah, gigs
so
is gutter stuff.
yeah, so them times, that gutter kind of gangster attitude that was in school. Everyone's rocking to those now. Your young sprays, the gigs is people are rocking to that, and then at the same time, boom, San Andreas drops. And then I started, like, when I look back here, I started to realize, bro, every end they'd really start getting bandanas and colours. That was the time.
Yeah,
you know what I
sure.
mean? I was like, why was that? The only thing I can see is it was like that game, and like obviously you had flags in the US, but once that game came to England, I feel like a lot of ends started operating like that. And I don't know, from in South, how did it feel? Was it always like that? I grew up in Dagenham where we didn't have like that black community from back in the day. It was like a new black community. But over here, I know you've had a black community from way back.
Yeah. No, it's always been Brixton, like, you know, Brixton's little Jamaica, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? That's what it's been called from time. Do you know what I'm saying? Even before I was born. You know what I'm saying? So being in Brixton, like Lambeth in general, Lambeth, like Southwark, do you know what I'm saying? Peckham, you know what I'm saying? Like all these areas always had like you said, big black community, like in general. So I feel like the main thing is, like, when I was growing up, whether there was San Andreas, whether there was gigs, it was always hood.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? There's always trouble on the road. You know what I'm trying to say? There was never like, obviously I'm not saying that these things didn't have an impact, they might have had an impact as well. But like growing up where I grew up, even like, so I grew up in Brixton and Tulse Hill as well. And then I used to go to a school in Croydon.
Yeah.
And even like when I started going to a school in Croydon, like fam, like it was just mad. Just get on the bus.
Yeah.
People getting robbed left, right and centre, do you know what I'm saying? Just to get on the bus to go to school. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't think that San Andreas and that were pivotal for South anyway. You know what I'm saying? But South's always just been gutter. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the truth. And the thing is with South, you've always kind of had to, that's what I'm saying, a lot of us from South, I'm not saying other areas don't have this, but a lot of us have to have a bit of an edge about us. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if you didn't or don't, then you kind of just you can just get trampled on. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not always been it's actually safer now, I'll probably say, because it's been gentrified. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially Brixton and Peckham. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Because those two areas are probably the worst back in the day, when I was growing up anyway. It's been more gentrified now. But for me, like, what I love about South though, regardless of, you know, the hood or whatever, it's always had culture. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? The culture's always been out here, like, you know what I'm trying to say? It's never been like hidden away. Even with the gentrified Brixton, you go in Brixton now, you're gonna feel the Jamaican culture. Yeah. 100%. Do you know what I'm saying? And Caribbean in general. But you see what I'm saying? So I think that that's important that we keep that. But yeah, growing up as a youth, man, like, it was mad. There's so many things I went through that I don't speak about, because you know what I don't like here? Me personally, this is my personal experience. My personal opinion, sorry. Is I'm not one of those guys that like, I don't want to talk about hood stuff I did when I was a youth and then kind of use that to be like, oh yeah, I was hood. Now I've turned into this great guy. I don't like that narrative. That narrative's been rinsed so much. Yeah. And it's a lot of these outlets want to use that for black and mixed race people specifically. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, to be like, yeah, he was hood, now he's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I personally don't want to use that narrative, innit? I know what I went through as a youth. I'm from Brixton, innit? You know we're from Brixton. You know what time it is. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, no matter if you're hood or not. You know what I'm saying? You got to be hood. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, I don't like talking. That's why people ask me in the past, like newspapers and stuff I've been in, they've asked me like, oh yeah, did you ever see that? I said, I don't want to talk about that. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, like, I'm with you totally. Because they want to make it, they want to focus on the negative, innit? And they want to focus on the, oh yeah, he came from bad and he's turned good now. Nah, man, that's long. Yeah. Like, I'm not painting a narrative. That's like, when they let black people through, that's how they will like letting black people through. Yeah. By saying you was a wrong un at one point and now you're good. Yeah, nah, man, there's more narratives than that for us.
100%. And on the flip side, I feel like there's a lot of people like this. They're actually good people. It's just, you know how the roads go.
That's what I'm saying. When I was a youth, my parents, big up my parents, because they brought me up right. You know what I'm saying? Mine was brought up right, and I can't. There's no like, my household was hard. No, I had a good upbringing. You see what I'm saying? So I was a good youth. Yeah. But again, living in Brixton, Tulse Hill, you have to be even if you're a good youth, you have to stay. You know what I'm saying? You got to have an edge about you, or you're just gonna get robbed every day, punched up every day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's true. Something I've seen it, like, it's whatever area you are from, whatever.
I saw it growing up. I remember how I got into certain situations, and really and truly, I would always remember, oh, cool, I'll handle a situation, but I was never the guy to like want to go outside and trouble the next man for no reason.
Same.
Yeah, I had my own plan.
You know what? You know what it is? I hated bullies, fam. From young up till now, I hate. But that's one thing I hate. If I see someone trying to like move to someone else, and you can see that they've got an advantage.
Yeah.
I'm stepping in and saying, "Wow, go on, man. Talk to me like that, innit?"
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hated that in school. Like in school, they would. I was tall from young, innit? You know what I'm saying? I was like 6 foot from like year 8. Do you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really get trouble in school, and also I was just that guy who's cool with everyone. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but there were certain guys in my school that were just trouble people because they could.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I always, if I saw it, I would always say, "Nah, you're not doing that around me."
Yeah.
I hate people getting bullied, fam. That's why I've always been on that. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not like I've never been a bad youth, but again, growing up in South, you have to be a certain way to survive, fam. Literally, survival of the fittest.
Nah, it's true. I agree. I agree. And a lot of people, they don't actually survive. That's the thing.
They don't. They either go pen, or they they end up not in the career they want to be in, because obviously that road stuff, that can like take you in another direction.
Yeah, if we just backtrack to what you were saying before about the chances people have when they're young and the roads affecting their future.
Yeah, no, basically like when you grow up in a certain area, like where you grow up can really define who you are as a person. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I really believe in you're a product of your environment. Although that's not the only thing that obviously affects you. Do you know what I'm saying? But I was definitely a product of my environment. Do you know what I'm saying? Growing up like in South, like you have to be a certain way. So I feel like if you're from the road, like you could literally end up like in pen, you could end up like, unemployed, end up like no education. Enough man used to go to my school, would just duck out of school because they wanted to link gal, or they wanted to go and smoke weed or whatever they're doing outside of school. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's how it was, innit? You get me, in school. So like a lot of the time people's education got affected and whatnot because you didn't want to seem like a neek, innit? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to seem like that. You wanted to be part of
some people, like on that note, my grandma used to look after us a lot. So she always gassed us up. She was on business herself, but she always said, be the best in your class, get A's, all of that. Yeah. And the funny thing was, in my school, it was slightly different. I had a lot of African kids and like first generation, or their parents are first generation, and they can't go home with dead grades. So in class, if your grades are dead, we're actually like, oh, that guy's dumb, fam. We're like battering each other. So everyone's trying to like go hard to get good grades, just so you don't get dissed in the class. Right. And that was literally it. So
that was literally the opposite to my class. If you done good, people were like, yeah, you're a little nerd or something. Do you know what I mean? Like people didn't rate that. People rated the man that had the most women.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying. That's what it was. The most women, or like could punch up someone.
That's the flip side. You still had to do that. Like when we're doing that, we're in the classroom having those doors. As soon as we open that door, go into the playground, it's different. You know what I'm saying? It was a whole different scenario. And just going back to what you were saying about the opportunities, when I was actually doing work experience, I was supposed to do work experience, my school didn't allow me to go because they said I was too high risk. But I didn't actually do anything at that time. It was just my guys done a Mazza in the morning. I wasn't there, and they've just come and like said, "Oh, you can't do work experience now." But me not knowing, I'm like, "Cool, f you then." Like, you know how you are when you're young, you're just like whatever. But then when I finished school and I tried to get jobs, everyone else has a work experience on their CV, so they can go JD, McDonald's, whatever. Yeah, true. If JD's turning me down, so what am I gonna do next? You know what I mean? So to me, that was a blessing anyway. Cause I took another path and learnt a lot of stuff. But going back to what we were saying, depending on where you go on that road, you might not be so lucky.
That's true. And one thing I wanted to say as well, like, what's a blessing about me starting Poetic Unity is that, I can be myself. And like I'm me, like I'm not. Sometimes when you like get into a job or something, you kind of got to change. You got to like dress a certain way. You got to talk a certain way. I'm from South, like I grew up in a certain area, like Jamaican and Irish background. Like I talk a certain way in it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if I was in corporate, I couldn't talk how I talk. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So like what I love about Poetic Unity is that it allows me to be myself. what I'm saying? I can be myself completely. Like, obviously there's different sides to me, do you know what I'm saying? It's not like I've got many different sides to me, but it allows me to be me, and it allows me to be part of a community that I care about, do you know what I'm trying to say? And give back.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I think a lot of the time, sometimes when we get a job or whatever, like when we're young, we end up doing something that we don't actually like.
Yeah.
And we have to change who we are as a person, do you know what I'm trying to say? Whereas
100%.
Poetic Unity has allowed me to, if anything, grow as a person, elevate. Like, even when I'm like, because obviously with Poetic Unity, we work with like corporate companies and stuff, because obviously they want to support charities, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we do stuff with them, but I'm still me, you know what I'm trying to say? I'm not going in there with a suit. I don't wear suits, you know what I'm saying? Unless I'm going to, you know, like a fancy place or something, you get me? Like a wedding or something. Then obviously I wear a suit, but I'm saying generally, I'm in my tracksuit, trainers, hoodie, t-shirt, whatever, do you know what I'm saying? That's just me, that's why I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? So what I'm saying is with Poetic Unity, like what I love about it, it's just allowed me to be me and also grow at the same time, because I've the corporate stuff I have done, obviously it's allowed me to grow that side of myself as well.
Yeah.
But also knowing that I can just be myself too. I don't need to be, you know, trying to like live up to the next man's expectations. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, you get me? Like, and obviously I haven't got a boss. So I'm saying, so again, that gives you freedom to just be, you know, yourself and obviously do your thing. So I think, don't get me wrong, that's another thing I want to touch on actually. I hear all the time about this entrepreneur life and blah blah. Entrepreneur life is great, but it's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's not for everybody. You know what I'm trying to say? Some people should work for others. They've got a sick talent. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They haven't got because working for yourself is like a skill in itself. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Forget about the stuff you're doing, the job you're actually doing. Actually, like being self-employed or running a business is tough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so obviously we're trying to create more leaders at Poetic Unity. Don't get twisted. That's one of our biggest things that we want to do, create young leaders. But also it's important that people know, young people know as well, they got a skill and they just want to do that skill and they don't want to have the hassle of being the boss. Just go and work for someone that you believe in, a company that you believe in, a charity you believe in, whatever, and then just bring that skill there. Do you know what I'm trying to say? There's too much of this, you have to be an entrepreneur. If you're not, then you're slacking. Nah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not slacking. If you're doing what you love to do, I always say to people, do what you love, do what you care about. You know what I'm saying? If you're passionate about something, do it. And also, whatever you're doing should help more people than just yourself.
Yeah.
If you're doing something that's just helping you, I think you're in the wrong place. I'm trying to say, even if it's just whatever you're doing is just helping your family, at least. You know what I'm trying to say? If you're doing something where you're just, you getting your Range Rover and, you know what I'm saying? And then getting your nice crepes and all that kind of stuff, and you're flashing, that's not good. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's paying it forward, I believe in that, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? I always try and pay it forward. So
always. No,
do you know what I'm saying? There's enough food out there for everyone to eat and to prosper, not just survive, prosper.
100%. There's enough to go around, like we were saying earlier. It's definitely.
But again, we were saying this earlier about it's another issue in the black community that sometimes we don't like support. And you know what it is? You know what I kind of found as well? Obviously, sometimes the issues can be culturally, because obviously, like, how we as Caribbeans think and how we do things is obviously different to how Africans do things. And not just Africans, obviously Nigerians might do something different to Ghanaians, and you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of different cultures in the black community, so there's a lot of different ways of doing things, you see what I'm saying? So again, I think that can be an issue too, is that everyone's trying to like do things their way, and also people are taught things from young. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, some people, like some Africans might be taught like, Caribbeans are no good, or vice versa, Caribbean. You see what I'm saying? Like, those things there, they stay in people's mind. Do you know what I'm saying? And again, colorism. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a big issue. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you know what I mean? The amount of times, like, obviously I've had a lot of racism from white people, but I also get discriminated from black people too. You know what I'm trying to say? Because obviously I'm light. Do you know what I'm saying? Mixed race. Do you know what I'm saying? So again, that's another issue in itself. You see what I'm trying to say? So, but that's a whole other topic.
All of your kitting them all one by one.
That's a whole other topic still. But I'm just saying a few issues that I think hinder us in the black community. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because end of the day, all these things play a part, and they're all big things, you know. These ain't small things I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, and with white people, they don't seem to care if someone's Scottish, whatever. They're just supporting. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like someone, they just support. You know what I'm saying? They're just doing their thing, their work, and sometimes they might even care if someone's not white. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? They still might, if they think that person's going to do something for them. So, and the thing is, for me personally, I'm not on this thing where, oh yeah, we just do things with just black people or just white people. Everyone should just be working together, period. But like, like I always say to people like, you know, when we talk about being pro-black, one of the main reasons why I'm pro-black is because my black side is my oppressed side.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? White people are good. They're cool. They got their thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They're in positions that in some way should even be in some people. Do you know what I'm trying to say? The oppressed side is my black side, innit? So that's why I focus on uplifting black people and obviously other black mixed people. That's another thing I would say, because mixed race could be anything. But black mix specifically, do you know what I'm saying? Because again, that's black mix are oppressed as well, as much as black people are oppressed as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's a thing where there's so many issues in the black community that it's difficult to pinpoint a solution.
Yeah.
But one thing that can definitely bring solutions is us working together, giving information to people. Do you know what I'm saying? If someone asks how to do something, you know how hard it is to get information out of people sometimes. People don't like saying, like, they won't want to give you the knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm an open book. There people come to me and say, "Oh, Rags, how did you start a charity? How did you get into this?" And I'll give them my links.
Yeah.
I'll give them the plug.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll give them the plug, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't I?
It's law of attraction. If you understand how this works, given you get back tenfold.
That's what I'm saying.
And when you understand, it's actually true. Like, I believe that's true. So if you are open book, it might not pay you today or tomorrow, but
sometime in the future, innit?
Yeah, it will pay to be that way.
Yeah.
And I think you've touched on so many good points. And I've found the crabs in a barrel situation within our community is one of the main things. Like, we should be working together, and until we understand everyone in the community should be wanting your brother, your neighbor to prosper. And like you said, this is Knowledge Finders, not just for black people. It's just a black owned platform. And why Knowledge Finder has worked so far is for the reason you said. People have come, supported, they support what we're doing, and we are trying to create that one place where people can go to for information that's useful and valuable. But at the same time, and this is for all industries, if a black company wants to be, I don't know, the MTV of the industry, or the Mercedes-Benz of the automotive industry, or a Barclays Bank of the finance world. Yeah. There's not a large black company that is dominant in industries we use like that at the moment. We all use smartphones, these apps, etc. In the tech world, there's not like major black owners that own things we use day to day. And for me, that's the problem. We need to change that. But changing that requires us to work together on a ground level first. You're never going to grow to that scale if you can't work with your own brother, let alone we can work with others, and we should be inclusive, working like without seeing colour, as they say. But if your own brother's doing something and you're not supporting it because it's a black guy, you're not really sure if you can put your faith in him. You get me? You might think, because he's black, he's not gonna do whatever, all the stereotypes. Then we'll never get to that place, because it's like a reverse racism. You're looking at your own brother like I can't rock with him like that. But you would rock with a white guy that said, "Oh, I've got this genius idea, I'm starting this company." You would rock with him because he's a white guy. He seems to know the business. But if it's just a black guy and you know him from down the road, you'll be like, I don't know. You know what I mean? And you won't really put in the works. But if, say for example, this guy's founded a company, you're dishing your CV out, he tells you, "I want to hire you for just an average salary, and I just started this company last week." You're more like, I've seen it. Guys are more likely to go with that option just because it seems all official, rather than work with your brother and build your own. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a perception problem we have in the community, but it's definitely there.
But again, it's when you think about it, we're living in a white country, innit? You know what I'm saying? Like, the UK is like 85% white. Because we're in London, we're in a little bubble, innit?
Yeah.
London's I think it's like 45% non-white and then 55% white. So because we're in this bubble, we seem to feel like it's a bit different here, innit? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You get what I'm saying? But my point is, like, because we're in a white country, like, it's like white's the default norm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, when a white person says, like, you know, like I said, or come for a job, whatever, automatically it's seen as official because of, you know, it's the norm in this country. Do you know what I'm saying? So again, like you said, I think one of the things we're trying to do at Poetic Unity as well is like, that's why, you know, one of the focuses is young black and black mixed people, because of that specific reason as well. Is that, again, what I found when I was younger, there was less opportunities if you weren't white. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because of those types of things. You see what I'm saying? So again, like you said, a knowledge finder, Poetic Unity isn't just for black and black mixed people. It's for all young people. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's the group that's the most oppressed. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And like all these stereotypes that come out, like it's there to see. It's only now that people like the white community, so to speak, are starting to understand it a little bit more now. Because they've been forced to, in a way. Because what happened to George Floyd, and then the Black Lives Matter movement, they started to open their eyes slightly, because they know, you know what, no white person wants to be called racist. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're racist or not, they don't want to be called it. Because now they know that comes with implications. You're going to lose your job. You're going to get like, people are going to be like, yeah, I ain't chatting to you again. You see what I'm saying? Whereas back in the day, they didn't care. Now they care about that. You see what I'm saying?
There's no smartphones or media.
Yeah.
Everybody can see you misbehaving outside
the pub and
spitting at a guy.
Now you can just get a picture of someone, like do a video of someone being racist, for example, and then obviously put it on social media, and then they lose their job.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So now there's more implications. So my point is that, like, for me, it's important that we create leaders, young leaders, to kind of dispel those myths and those stereotypes. I'm trying to say, because at the end of the day, that's all they are. I'm trying to say there's not a black person and a white person, same level playing field. I'm trying to say, one's just got a different culture to the other. That's it. You see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And obviously in this country, don't get twisted, it's definitely, when I say same level playing field, as in they're just humans. Obviously, it's not a same level playing field in terms of the position that white people find themselves in, and then black people find themselves. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my point is that they're both humans. You see what I'm saying? Two human beings. The main difference is the culture, not even the color of skin. You know, it's the culture.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The culture is different. Yeah. Obviously, color of skin different as well. But other than that, two human beings. Like, why is one more important, or why is one treated better? It doesn't make no sense.
It's a big question, but
you know what I'm saying?
I won't provide the answer to that today, but I will say there was documented times in history where race wasn't a thing. People used to refer to you by your region, but there was no such thing as race. They might say you're a darker skin color, but it wasn't derogatory. There was nothing based on race. There was nothing derogatory just because you're a certain colour. It might be you're a certain region or a certain clan or tribe, but it's not based on your colour. That was just based on where you live in the world. So they might refer you as the darker one because you're from Sudan or whatever, if you're from that region. So they had a name for you to describe you, but it wasn't like a derogatory term. So yeah, I always let people know that, and you can check that out yourself. How do people find out about Poetic Unity? How can they get involved if they're not in school anymore, and they're just they write poems in their bedroom? How would they find out about what you do? How would they sign up? Social handles, etc. Please share it with them so everyone can get in touch with you.
Yeah, so the best way to get involved is just jumping on our social media. Instagram at Poetic Unity, Twitter Poetic_Unity, Facebook Poetic Unity Project, website is poeticunity.org.uk, and yeah, just like, you know, come to our events in person. Obviously we do an event every 2 weeks at the moment in Brixton at Black Culture Archives called the Poets Corner, but that's going to go back to weekly as well soon. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So obviously now we're back out here a bit more. We're doing much more events in person, much more programs and workshops in person. So yeah, but the best way to find out about that is just going on our social media and just checking us out, and then just staying up to date with what we're doing, man, because there's a lot of things we're doing. Yeah, we do like, before COVID, we did on average about 100 events and programs a year.
Yeah.
But during COVID, because we could do stuff online, we did like 400 or 500.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and we worked with like 10,000 plus people.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because of, obviously online, it's limitless, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? We work and that's also, just quickly mention as well, before COVID happened, we was more of a local charity working in London, working in like specifically like Lambeth and Southwark and stuff like that. But we used to go all over London.
Yeah.
Because of COVID now, we can actually reach national. We've become a national charity. We can reach young people across the whole UK. So yeah, that's another thing that's happened. So anyone who's watching this, you don't have to be from Brixton. You don't even have to be from London. If you're, anywhere in the UK and you need support for your mental health, specifically, just shout us, man. Poetry is a great way of expression, and we say we give a voice to the voiceless. That's what we do. We're here to support specifically marginalised young people.
No, I'd like that. Give a voice to the voiceless. So thank you very much for coming down. It's been great having you here. And as I said, you will see all of Poetic Unity's stuff on our socials. We'll be posting it and sharing it. And the Poetic Corner, just to be very clear, it's a night that you can go down. If you're a poet yourself, you can go down, perform, get feedback from the crowd, and interact with other poets whilst you're there. So if that's something you're into, definitely check it out. So Rags, thanks very much for coming down. It's been a pleasure, and we'll be working with you a lot more in the future. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Next week, we've got another special guest for you. Take care. Bye.